The doorbell chimed at precisely 8 a.m. on a lazy Saturday, jarring me awake. I wasn't expecting anyone, especially not at this hour. Maybe a delivery guy got an early start, I thought, shuffling to the door in my sweatpants, coffee mug in hand. But when I swung the door open, there stood a woman, mid-40s, with a peroxide blonde bob that screamed, "I need to speak to your manager." She clutched a clipboard like it held the nuclear codes, her eyes narrowing as she sized me up. "You don't belong here," she declared, her voice thick with smug certainty. She tapped her pen on the clipboard, each click a tiny jab. "This is a respectable neighborhood with standards. I need proof you own this place. Now." I stood there, blinking, my brain still foggy from sleep. Who was this woman, and why was she acting like she owned my front porch? Sorry, who are you?" I managed, rubbing my eyes. She puffed up, her smile as fake as her tan. "I'm Linda Harper, president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association," she said, enunciating each word like she was announcing the Queen of England. "And you're clearly too young to own a home in this community. Our covenants are strict about maintaining our character." I opened my mouth to explain I just moved in, but she steamrolled right over me. "Save it. I've already filed EVICT papers. You have 30 days to clear out before we take legal action." She thrust a sheet of paper at me, her nails practically glinting with malice. "Consider this your notice." I stood there, stunned, as she spun on her heel, then paused for one last dig. "Next time, kid, do your homework before squatting in someone else's neighborhood." What Linda didn't know, what she couldn't have dreamed, was that I, Ethan Carter, wasn't some freeloader. At 25, I'd bought this house outright, in cash, no mortgage, no strings. And her little stunt? It wasn't just annoying, it was skating dangerously close to illegal. I shut the door, the paper trembling in my hand. This wasn't how I pictured my first week as a homeowner. I'd spent years grinding for this moment. Fresh out of college, I moved back in with my parents, working remotely as a software engineer. I saved every dime, invested smart, and lived like a monk. When a dated 3-bedroom in Willow Creek hit the market at a steal thanks to its retro wood paneling and shag carpet, I jumped. The seller, an old guy moving to a nursing home, wanted a fast deal. My cash offer sealed it. No banks, no hassle, just keys and a deed in my name within a month. But instead of a warm welcome, I got glares and whispers. Linda, it seemed, had crowned herself the neighborhood's gatekeeper, and a single guy in his 20s didn't fit her pristine VY shown of Willow Creek. From day one, she was on me. I caught her snapping photos of my moving truck from across the street, muttering to herself. I tried to shrug it off. New house, new projects, like ripping out the mustard yellow kitchen tiles. Surely she'd chill once she saw I was just a quiet guy who mowed his lawn. Nope. 3 days in, the harassment kicked off. Notes on official-looking HOA letterhead started appearing in my mailbox. Garbage cans VY Cybele from street violation. They were my garage. Lawn requires immediate maintenance. I'd mowed it yesterday. Then came the drive-bys. Linda's silver SUV would crawl past, her phone out, snapping pics of, what? My empty driveway? Holiday decorations must be pre-approved, one note read. I hadn't put up a single light. No overnight street parking, another claimed, though my car was tucked in the garage. It got uglier. Linda started spreading rumors. I overheard her telling an older couple walking their dog. How does someone his age afford a house like that? Probably drugs or some shady crypto scam. I bit my tongue, but the whispers spread. 2 weeks after her doorstep ambush, a manila envelope showed up in my mailbox. Inside, an official HOA notice claiming Willow Creek had a 55-plus age restriction, and I had 30 days to vacate or face EVICT. I laughed, then stopped. This was insane. I'd pored over the HOA bylaws before buying. Willow Creek was a regular suburb, not a retirement VY lodge. I called my real estate lawyer, who confirmed what I suspected. Linda was full of it. Document everything, he said. If she's filing false claims, that's harassment, maybe fraud. That night, I installed security cameras around my property. If Linda wanted to fight, I'd be ready. The tipping point came 3 days later. Linda marched up my driveway, with 2 HOA board members trailing her. One was my neighbor, Mr. Thompson, who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. "We're here for a compliance inspection," Linda announced, trying to barge past me into my house. I planted myself in the doorway. "You need an appointment and actual authority for that," I said, keeping my voice steady. Her face went beet red. "As HOA president, I have every right." "You have the right to enforce real bylaws, not make them up," I shot back. I pulled out my phone, opening the HOA Covenants PDF. "Show me where it says there's an age restriction." Mr. Thompson glanced at Linda, his brow furrowing. "Linda, I've lived here 12 years. There's no age rule." Her nostrils flared. "New amendment. Passed last month. Amendments need a 2/3 homeowner vote," I said. "I never got a ballot. Did you too?" I turned to the board members. Their silence was deafening. "Now get off my property. Any more of this goes through proper channels, in writing, based on actual rules." I held up my phone. "Oh, and this whole thing? Recorded. Audio and video." Linda's face twisted with fury, but she backed off, practically dragging her confused posse with her. "This isn't over," she hissed as they retreated. She wasn't wrong, but not in the way she thought. The next morning, I found a county EVICT tie-in notice taped to my door. My stomach dropped until I read it closely. It was fake, filed under Linda's name, with forged credentials claiming she could EVICT residence. I called the county clerk, who transferred me to the prosecutor's office. This wasn't just a nosy neighbor anymore. Linda had gone full criminal. I compiled my EVICT denke, fake HOA notices, security footage of Linda trespassing, the forged EVICT tie-in notice, even emails from neighbors who'd faced a wrath. The prosecutor was floored, especially by the fake county document. "Impersonating an official and filing fraudulent papers are serious crimes," she said. "We're launching a full investigation." What they found was jaw-dropping. Linda had been running the HOA like her personal empire for years. Fake rules, unauthorized fines, even siphoning HOA funds for her own use. Board meetings were a sham, minutes fabricated. She'd bullied other homeowners with EVICT tie-in threats, banking on fear to keep them quiet. A search of her home office turned up files on every resident, packed with personal info she had no right to have, plus templates for forging legal documents. Her computer showed she'd faked board member signatures and cooked the HOA's books to hide her theft. 2 weeks later, I was coding at home when I heard sirens. Peeking out my window, I saw 2 cops escorting Linda from the HOA office in handcuffs. Her face was pure outrage as neighbors stepped onto their lawns to watch. "This is outrageous," she screamed. "I was protecting our community from riffraff like him. You'll see property values will tank." Nobody rushed to her side. Instead, a few neighbors started clapping, the sound rippling down the street. Linda faced a laundry list of charges: fraud, forgery, impersonating an official, harassment, and embezzlement. Bail was set at due law $50,000, but her account for drained blown her SAVYNGS on designer bags and luxury vacations to keep up her perfect image. At the final HOA meeting, the VYB was different. Neighbors greeted me warmly, some apologizing for not stepping up sooner. The new interim president, a retired judge named Mr. Callahan, asked if I'd join the board to help rewrite the bylaws and prevent future abuse. "We need someone like you who knows the rules and isn't afraid to stand up," he said. As we wrapped up, Mr. Callahan pulled me aside. "Funny thing about that house of yours," he said, chuckling. "Linda tried to buy it 5 years ago. Her mortgage got denied. She never got over it." The irony hit me like a truck. Linda's whole crusade was fueled by jealousy. She couldn't stand that I, a kid, had the home she'd always wanted. In court, Linda's mask finally cracked. Sentenced to 18 months in prison and ordered to pay due law $50,000 in restitution to the HOA, she lost it. "This is absurd," she shrieked. "I was upholding standards. This neighborhood will collapse without me." The judge tacked on a contempt charge as deputies hauled her away. Still ranting, she was the VY-Tim. I'm settled in now, my house finally feeling like home. But I can't help wondering, how many Karens are out there, wielding fake authority to control others? And what does it take to stop them? What do you think, did Linda get what she deserved? Or was she just a misguided control freak who went too far? Should HOAs have stricter oversight to prevent this kind of abuse? Or are they inherently toxic? And how far would you go to protect your home from someone like her? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you felt the drama, and subscribe for more wild stories like this one.